Hello, Gemini! Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using White Newman, a Sacred Animal Tarot created by Alba BG. On the bottom of the box here is the website liminal11.com. Feel free to check that out if you're interested. Supportive Oracle cards. Wisdom of the Hidden Realms Oracle cards by Colette Baron Reed. Excuse me, jeez. Okay, here we go with the hiccups. And there's some websites on the back of the box here. The one I was looking for last week is on the back of the book, ColetteBaronReed.com. There's a couple other websites. Feel free to freeze frame and check out whatever you're interested in if you are. The Colette one is at the end of the paragraph with Colette's picture. Okay. Whew. What do we have for Gemini? Okay, what is that? You got some really good cards here, but it may be like, how do we get to it though? Like, you have the White Newman, which is like creation, positive expression, things coming in that you've been waiting for, stuff like that. Something you want is here. Oh, I'm afraid you might. Okay, don't miss it. So, okay, hold on. So I'm getting anxiety. Because, like, you have to move forward with it. And you might not believe in it for some reason. You've got a possibility waiting for you. And one of the things that might be holding you back is you're like, it feels like it might be very overwhelming, or it may be very burdensome. It may be very heavy to deal with. There we go. It's not just the work. It feels like it might be overwhelming. Like, almost like, it feels like if I go for this, I'm going to get up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go there, do that, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go do that, and then I'm going to go to bed. It's like I don't get a breath. Like, I feel that's how it feels. Doesn't mean that's how it's going to be, but it feels like from the time I get up to the time I go to bed, I won't have a breath to myself. This opportunity is here, but it just feels like it could be overwhelming, and it makes me nervous. I feel like that's what it is. You have this opportunity that if you want it, you have to move forward on. Thing is, you already have some experience on it. I don't know why my nose is itching all of a sudden, but is the Fool card here? No. Okay. You have some experience in this situation. At the very least, you've done some research. At the very least. It's something that I feel like you already know you want, but I'm looking at this like a hurdle. Like, I could, for example, if you wanted to be a psychologist, and you're like, okay, that takes how many years of schooling? And it's like, oh my God, even if I'm at part-time, it's like I have to double that, or at least if not triple that time, depending on what I could do. And I'm like, how old am I? How long is that going to take? Like, I feel like I'm looking at all the negative things here, but you've looked into it. Thing is, you're Gemini, though. So if I'm going to go here with Gemini, it's kind of like, my first reaction is like, oh, it takes, I don't know how long it takes for a psychiatrist. I'm going to guess 8 years. I'm going to guess. Totally guess. So you're like, okay, if I go full-time, that's 8 years. If I go part-time, it's at least 4. It could be like, what? Or like 8, no, at least 16. If I, stretch it out a little farther than that, it could be 20. What if it's 20 years before I get through all the schooling for this? What if it takes me that long? How old will I be? What will I do with it? But you're also like, if you look a little deeper, like, a lot of these things, you can start applying it as you go, especially if you're doing part-time. If I start doing this, I can keep going as far as I want, and as long as I can keep, I have a friend who's in that type of business, and, you learn so much, and then you can apply it and use it, and you can get career advancements. It's just, you keep applying it, and you keep advancing as you go. I don't know exactly how that works, but my point is, you're Gemini. You don't have to go all the way to the finish line to make this worth your while, and to make this lucrative if you wanted to. But the thing is, I keep looking at it like, oh my God, there's so much that I would have to do. But the opportunity's right here in front of you. It's literally waiting for you. The Sun card's coming in with the Lightning Woman. Lady of the Lightning. Lady of the lightning woman. Why not? Why not? She's a superhero. She'll take you out. Don't worry about it. It's here. It's here. But the thing is, you'll notice one thing. If you're noticing this, I'll point it out if you're not. They're looking opposite directions. The sun and this lightning, the Lady of the Lightning, are looking different directions. We got to get them on the same page. If you want this to link up, you have to choose it. This moment is here. You can have it. Free will is a real thing. If you freely say, I will not go there, you freely will not. If you freely go, I want that, I'm going to have it, I'm going to take it, you go take it, it's yours. It's hard, though, because it's like, one of the reasons it's hard is because maybe you're comfortable, or there's certain parts of your life that are comfortable right now. You're like, my day doesn't feel overwhelmed. I feel like my days are okay. I get up, I do what I want, I do this, I have some time for myself. I ration it out in a good way that I have time to where I'm comfortable. Maybe part of me wants to do that, but the other part's like, is it worth upsetting the flow of what I already have? And I feel like it's not so much the change. Geminis are usually a fan of change, not always, but usually they're pretty compatible with that. And you're like, yeah, but what if this change, like really, what if I regret it and I can't get out of it? Or I have repercussions from this that I don't want, that I have to deal with, that I just can't get away from. It's kind of like, maybe I'll make the grade, maybe I'll get where I need to go, but is it going to be worth it in the long run? Is the challenge of getting there worth the struggle? You have the power, you have the Empress card. You have the Empress card. You have possibilities, you have chances here. It's got to be looked at a little deeper. There's something else coming out. I'm just going to roll the dice. The Sun card came out with the dice too. And then the Five of Pentacles reversed. So this is, okay, so communication, I don't think of communication being a problem for Gemini. I feel what might be more of a issue is like focused communication. Like it's my brain is already like flipping through the channels here. I feel like I'm watching TV and I'm flipping through the channels already. So it's like, you got to communicate with others. To make this easier, you can communicate with others. Make a pro-cons list of what you're afraid of, what will go well, what will go bad. And then of the cons list, you got like look at possibilities of how that could go differently. You got to focus that energy. If you're going to ask for other people's help, which is a good idea because I feel like there's people around you who can help you. If you can do that through email, because I feel like you'll have a better time of explaining. You might want to get somebody, either if you can do it yourself, or you might want to find somebody who understands you to help, like write your emails, have somebody else check it to make sure it's concise and stays focused. A lot of you can do it yourself, but if that's one of the things you're like, well, I don't know, I don't communicate by email that well. I feel like Geminis usually have somebody around them who understands them. See if they'll read it for you. Ask them, like, tell them what you're trying to get, the point you're trying to get across. Ask them if everyday people are getting it. Usually Geminis talk at a higher level, in my opinion. You're quite smart, and usually I think what happens with Gemini is like, I feel like when you're talking, I could be wrong, tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, you omit the simple things because you're like, why would I talk about the simple things? You just go right into whatever you need to. People who can keep up with your conversations might be aware of it. Maybe somebody has told you that before. They're like, if you're talking about, for example, baking a cake, you say there's eggs, there's this or that. You skip over the like, I'm not going to tell you to like break the eggs and put them in and like to fold them in carefully. Because kind of like, obviously you would do that. But to other people that might not be obvious. So you might not realize you're skipping the simple steps because you're like, why am I going to talk about the simple stuff? That's boring. So you go right into the next thing. I don't know if that's helpful, but I'm getting like, if you have somebody helping you go to the next stage, they can actually help you communicate, help you get the help you need to make your dreams come true. I do feel like there's an ally here who can help you. There's a little bit of anxiety with this because I feel like that's not for all Geminis. So if that's not a problem for you, don't worry about it. Just keep moving. Like, keep going to what you need. For those who it matters for, there's an idea. Because I feel like this, whatever this is something you really, really want and you really, really can have. Strategizing, having somebody there to help you strategize, you have to ask them. You have to ask them. But if you could get past this Five of Cups, if you get somebody to help you strategize. It's not that you don't have the capability to do it yourself. It's something about having somebody else there to work with triggers your brain to get you to find those answers. They might trigger something in you to go down paths that you weren't going down. Somebody else says something to you and it opens up another thought. And it might not be about them giving you the answers. It might be about them triggering you to get your own answers. Does that make sense? I feel like you know what I mean. I feel like the Geminis that this is going to hit for, that you know what I mean. Like, sometimes you talk to people, they don't give you the answers, but they trigger your thoughts for you to find your own answers. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. This situation, like, you got the White Newman at the end. And this deck has a White Newman and it has a Black Newman. The black one is not fun. The White Newman is. This creation, new things, beautiful things that you want. Sometimes could be wish fulfillment, could be. I don't see why it wouldn't be. But you could get what you want, but it's like getting the control and having the boundaries to get it and to stick with it, and having that resolution to get to your goal. So it's kind of like if you wanted to be a psychiatrist, for example, just as an example, having that disciplined and regimented path to get there and somebody to help you stay on it to get there and helping you create that system to get where you need to get, you can have this. You can definitely have this. If this plan is put together, how stressful is that for Gemini to follow this path? I mean, getting what you want, yes, you can definitely get it, but how stressful is the path if Gemini gets on this path? Four of Cups, half in, half out, and the Moon card. I think the Moon card is a friend to Gemini because it's mystery. It's things coming out of the dark that you weren't expecting. Not always fun, but not always bad. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not. There will be random things as you keep following this path. The whole way down, there's going to be new things to deal with, new things to handle, new unexpected benefits, unexpected detriments, but it will keep you engaged. The Four of Cups, half in, half out, is like, it's going to be good. It's just every now and then you're just not going to care for it. It's going to ebb and flow. You can definitely have this. If you want whatever your goal is, whatever your dream is, whatever this is you want, it's here. I don't think it's going to be as heavy and as burdensome as you think, because there's other ways to handle things, especially if you work with somebody else to strategize. They'll help you find a way where it's not that burdensome. I'm not saying that word right. I know, I'm sorry. I can't seem to spit it out correctly. But you can have this. These two cards, in this deck, these are the best two cards. They're different, but they're very similar. This is you getting something you never thought you could have. That's what this card is. This is the best outcome possible. These two cards are great cards, and you have them both in this one reading. So, it's up to you. Hopefully this is an empowering reading. If you decide no, and no is no, then no is no. You just have to do what you feel is right. Hopefully this reading empowers you to make that choice that fulfills your needs. Is there anything else here? All right, I'm going to shut this down. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.